Okay, let's start. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming for Product Camp Austin, and thanks for sticking around for this last talk. So, I'm Smita Kulkarni, and I'm a product manager and a project manager at startup named Tista Tech, and we are doing services for VFSC, that is government largest government organization for financial services. During this my current role, I have seen multiple customers coming to me and giving me requirements, and when I get these kind of requirements, I feel sometimes overwhelmed, and sometimes at the end of the world, when we are just about to launch, we see that requirements are coming. So I thought this is a really good topic, like how to manage the scope creep. For this, first, let me thank all our sponsors that are Pragmatic Institute, Macomb School of Business, and their specialized program in technology commercialization. Our supporters are 280 Group and In Kind, that is Norris Center, where normally we held the Product Camp Austin. So because of all these sponsors, today's Product Camp Austin 26 is happening. So I really want to thank all these sponsors. As we know that when all the team members and everybody is just ready to launch the product, and the customer comes in and he says, could you please add this request at top of their requirements and make it work, because we cannot deploy anything because of this request not able to complete. Design is complete, development complete, user testing, regression testing is complete. Now it's very difficult to go back again to do all these things, all software development lifecycle steps before we go to the deployment. This is a perfect example of scope creep. In the deployment world, you decided to do deploy on the particular date that let's call that as a finish line. And you are ready to deploy, and that finish line moves from place A to place B. And as we ready to deploy another deployment date, it moves from place B to place C, a perfect example of finish line moving. So how can we manage this scope creep, and how can we reach to the product launch where it is used by the customer? At this point, when you are doing all the launches, everything is in the feature and the product is just growing before it reaches to the customer. What's the use of the product whether it has beautiful many features if it's not used by the customer? So how can we drive this scope creep to our better understanding and create a good example and manage this scope creep? Because the scope creep burns down all the resources, it burns down your budget, time, and it gives a perfect recipe for the failure. So guys, when we work on this product, we know that software development is not a one-time deal like event management or any of the construction product, right? Because if in the event management you have a birthday party or something, you ask 10 people to add, and they will ask quickly accept your request. But if you ask them to move something of in your construction, changing the color of your house, the request is granted easily. But in the changing world of software development, everything is very unstable, unpredictable. You know that market is changing continuously. Government regulation, policies, everything changes very quickly. And we have to understand how these changes can be managed. So when there is a change, we have two choices: either embrace that change or push back that change. So if we do three simple things that will help you manage the change with right mindset and right methods. With this understanding, let's start collecting the ideas. So the next thing we will do is, for the requirements, we will gather all the requirements that are needed for our product. I worked in a startup where I know that when we start for a new product launch or having a thought of new product, everyone gets that initial enthusiasm and everyone has ideas what this product would be doing. And we make a list of all these products. I kept a good list in our product management board. It could be your Jira, or it could be a Rally or version 1, digital AI's product version 1. So you can keep all these ideas. All ideas are good, but we need to come up with consensus and understanding which are the best ideas and which will become your MVP. So we put all these ideas and all together, make a list of 1 to n in the product backlog and in the application management board. And we gave a thought, is the customer engagement is there? We collected all these customer, all SMEs, all the engineering team, management team in one room. Ask them to write just 3 initial features that they want to see in this product. Once we write down all these 3 features, we realize that everyone come up with different idea. So we again gave a thought on these 3 features. We look this way, we look that way. We try to find out the pattern. We find out the trend. What is there that we could find out that is the base of our product? And we come up with exactly 3 things with cooperation with all the customers, all the management teams, and understanding that these are the 3 things we want in our product. And that becomes our first version, that is MVP. Once we have very good understanding of this MVP, we put all the rest of the ideas on our board. We don't want to get distracted by these ideas. These ideas are really good. We want to count everybody's idea. We want to count all the customers' idea, but we want to make it further and further, and with after adding the features on top of our MVP. So we put all these ideas on our board, and next time we started to prioritize these ideas. So when we started prioritizing idea, first thing is we want to do is, what is the cost of each requirement? So when I started working on my remodeling of the kitchen, another good example, I wanted to move my stove from one place to another. And I asked the construction person, hey, how much it will cost me to move this stove from this place to this wall? He's told me that if you move just one from one place to another, on the same line, it will cost you about 500. But if you want to move all the your gas pipelines and everything, it will cost you about 3,000 or 4,000. Once I got that idea of the cost, now I can prioritize and I can understand how I can use this requirement, right? So this example will give you that prioritization, knowing the cost of the requirements and ROI is a key to prioritization rest uh, of the backlog, and rest just becomes a mathematical equation. Um, in while during when teams are coming together doing the product prioritization, I gave another thought to all the teams. Is customer voice is there, or are we working on organizational silos? And we brought customer voice in this prioritization, and we put all the uh, everything on the backlog, and we understand that now our backlog is has a good prioritized list from 1 to n with all multiple customers voices there. We have good understanding of feature sizes, that is each feature size is like large, extra large, medium or small, and each feature is with understanding of the stories below those features. So good organized backlog now help us create a roadmap of our product. So helping understanding the customers about the roadmap, the particular size of the feature now will help me whenever the customers ask me any other requirements to swap, and that comes in as a trade-off. So another example comes in my mind that when we are the customer is very high priority, and when we are ready to ready to do the launch, the customer comes with the thought that but some of the requirements has to be changed, and we have to prioritize something that definitely customer need in the next product. So what we did is I took that customer to our board and asked, show him all the product roadmap and ask him, yes, what you are saying is definitely right thing, but let me know if you want to swap these all these prioritized items so that we can move your high priority to the topmost level. This product prioritization and good organized backlog helped us understand that the new requirement of the same size I'm going to swap or trade off with other requirement that are in that backlog. One thing I want to uh, give a thought or give you guys that not all the requirement comes from the customer. Sometimes the team has a different view of the product they are looking for. For example, if I give you guys, say, a spec that, hey, draw a bird or draw an animal with feathers and four legs. These are the specs. I give it to you and have a high neck. If I give you 30 seconds to draw, you will come up with quick sketch that will be the has a legs, wings and neck, something simple. Now if I ask you to draw a same animal and give you one minute instead of 30 seconds, there will be more detail in that sketch. So similar thing happens when the team start building the product. They come with the vision and they comes with that idea, but they don't know exactly how it will look like. So in this kind of situation, the prototype will help. So we did a prototype for our product, a good thoughtful prototype which has a good sketch um, information, spec information, and that when I give it to the team members to draw, it comes to closer to the product. So another thing is that the prototype helps all the teams to understand the exact view of the product, conceptual view of that product. So these are my thoughts for our managing the prioritization and trade-off and collecting ideas for managing the scope creep. Because when I work with many customers, so on one product I have 15 different customers, and it becomes really difficult when customers comes in and just ask for high priority request, and it becomes difficult to we want to understand and honor their request, but it just delays the product deployment and it delays everything. So understanding these simple techniques, like collecting the ideas, prioritization, the ideas and trade-off, help me uh, understand and give the customer what they want. And it is really helpful for them all understand as well, and it helps for all the team members from top to bottom, or all the C-suite customers, and understanding for our management too. So simple things will definitely help you manage the scope creep. Uh, any questions? So let me thank all the advocate sponsors, that is Pragmatic Institute, Texas Macomb School, and 280 Groups.